Get strong.
So there's just some things that I know for sure that this could have been better. This could have been something edit a little bit more crisp, so that way the fan base knows that it won't be super CGI, super edited. And that was just that one scene in Wonder Woman 84 that, it could have been done better. But let me tell you how this movie was so great, because again, you have Wonder Woman kicking ass as usual in this movie, and it's quite interesting to see how they made Gal Gadot play Wonder Woman so well, because you can express how strong she is, but she has a weak side to her. And that's one thing you experienced in this movie, and her weak side to it was love. Because we all remember Chris Pine plays Steve, Wonder Woman's love interest. You saw him all over the first movie. But then you get to see him again in the second movie, but it was more what we like to call a kill-off. And it's a movie term, the kill-off. So when maybe the studio say, okay, Chris Pine, we'll get you in this movie, but you may not be in the third movie. May or may not. And that's what we call a kill-off. So in the episode or movie, they develop a scene where you kill the person off the show, whether it's a certain death in the show and movie, or he's just step away. There's been certain ways, and this is kind of just an example of the kill-off here. And I'm not trying to get super off topic, but this is a great example. Let's take, and it's top of my head right now, let's think about Empire. Let's think about Jesse Smollett and him being stupid and ruining his career. We all know what he done. So the producers and directors of that, I forget what season of Empire it was, there's a scene where, the family gets together and Cookie Lion says, oh, I wish Jamal was here, but he's actually decided to stay in Paris with his husband. That is what you call a kill-off because of Justice Smollett doing what he did, messing up his career. I think he messed up his career, but that's another topic. That's kind of what a kill-off was. So you can see that a kill-off happened in Wonder Woman 84, where towards the final scenes where, of course, Wonder Woman has to renounce her wish because she's trying to save the world. She renounced her wish, and her wish was to bring Steve back. But now she renounced, and Steve is gone. So it's interesting to say that you see Wonder Woman's weakness, and that's obviously Steve. Now, the story progresses. Of course, the main villain inhabits this gem, and then that gem inhabits its wishes. And so he wishes that he was the stone. He wishes that he was the crystal, so he can perfect wishes for everyone. So basically, he wanted to use that wish for his own gain. He wanted to have businessmen wish on him with his company, so that way he can be very, very powerful. Of course, you have Kristen Wiig in this movie. She will be playing Barbara. Of course, we know her as Cheetah from the DC comic book series. Let me tell y'all, and me and my brother, we talking about it because we're huge Kristen Wiig fans. I see her doing a lot more than just Bridesmaids. Now, Bridesmaid was a phenomenal movie. It was a funny movie when it came out. Of course, it was Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph. But it's interesting to see Kristen Wiig play this role because you never, most people think, oh, okay, you talking about the girl, the actress from Bridesmaids? She does so much more content. She does so much more movies that we are just we're not accustomed to until you actually see it. So I ended up seeing it. Kristen Wiig, I think she played Barbara Cheetah very, very well. Some people may say, oh, she was a bad choice for Cheetah. I'm very interested to know why people think that way. I'm interested to know why people think that she was not a great fit. They could have found someone else. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that she played the role really well. And it's very interesting to see that she can play a more serious role than just the comedic role that we all know that she plays. I think Kristen Wiig did a very, very good job on Cheetah. And again, I'm not harping on every actor. I'm not saying that this movie was phenomenal. Well, this movie was great, but I'm not saying it's the best movie ever. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying this movie didn't get a lot of credit for what it was and what they're trying to achieve. This movie was theater worthy, I would say. Unfortunately, this movie fortunately for us, this movie came out for HBO Max. So we all got to enjoy this movie in our comforts of our own home. I was right at home when I watched this movie. this movie, in my opinion, deserved to be in theaters. Now, I don't know, going forward with COVID-19, I don't think they're ever going to have a plan to put this movie out in theaters. This movie, and I'm reading notes here, this movie actually did come up for theaters. It was up to you if you went to the theaters to see this movie. But you had that option, if you're not an HBO Max subscriber, you had the option to go to the theaters and watch this movie. Now, if you were, of course, you get it in the comfort of your own home. I think this was a better suit for me because of COVID-19. Not saying that it's, everyone should stay indoors, but you do what you want to do. But I like that enjoyment where I was able to enjoy this movie in the comforts of my own home. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was just straight at home, chilling on Christmas Day, watching this movie. I honestly think this movie has done really well, really well. I am very interested to see what they do in Wonder Woman 3. Yes, there will be a Wonder Woman 3. I think this is going to be the next scale of movie for DC, and I think this movie, compared to all the other DC movies that DC has produced, there has been some movies that's been god-awful. Case in point, Batman vs. Superman, god-awful. Shazam, god-awful, in my opinion. There has Green Lantern. I wouldn't say Green Lantern was god-awful, but it was just like, it wasn't the best. Dark Knight trilogy, of course, they're phenomenal. I even think Man of Steel movies were great. Wonder Woman 1 was phenomenal, and I think the second one was pretty good for what it was. This is the new scale of DC, and they're still trying to compete with Marvel. I don't think they're up to Marvel standard yet. Marvel's here. Marvel made their money. They're here. DC, they're a little bit, and I'm trying to demonstrate for the camera, DC's maybe about right here. So they got a long way to go to get up to Marvel's level. They're just right here right now. Because if I had to choose between DC and Marvel, even though I love both, I have to go leaning towards a little bit with Marvel because they have better content. So I really want DC to do that push. And I think they are, because they have Wonder Woman 84 that's helping that out. Of course, Zack Snyder, great director, remaking or having his version of Justice League, which I think Justice League wasn't that bad, honestly. I'll come out and say Justice League wasn't that bad. It was better than Batman vs. Superman. I want them to come up to that level to meet Marvel, so that way they can have a perfect competition. And when they have perfect competition, that's when things get interesting. And I'm talking about their cinematic series. So I'm excluding the TV shows because I think TV shows are great. I've seen Teen Titans. Shout out to my friend Deanna. She showed me Teen Titans, and I really enjoyed that show. That show was good, but I'm going to kind of take that as a backseat for now for this episode because we're talking about the movies of DC. Because the movies of DC haven't been that good. And I truly mean this, by the bottom of my heart, I really want DC movies to go out with a bang. I want them to be equal to Marvel, so that way we can have a perfect competition, so that way we can see who will win this little war. Right now, Marvel's winning, but I want to see DC grow. I love DC. I honestly, to be not talking about K.L.P Entertainment too much, but I actually made a DC movie. If you guys remember, The Dark Matter was a Batman movie that I made. So I enjoy DC very much, but they need movies like Wonder Woman. They need to upscale their movies, whether it's finding directors, whether it's finding different script writers. They need to be up to that level, so that way we're not disappointed. Their game division, they're going to kick ass in game division because they have, the new Gotham Knights game that's coming out. Suicide Squad's going to get their game. So that's very interesting. In their game department, they're doing it because right now, Marvel in their video game department, of course, everyone hated on Avengers. I actually enjoyed Avengers. It wasn't that bad, in my opinion. There was some bugs that needs to be fixed, but, that's what I think they should do. I think they should get up to that scale. I recommend you guys go see Wonder Woman 84. It's great. Honestly, the music's great. The cinematography in some areas are great. You had the love interest between Wonder Woman and Steve. That was very kind of a romantic kind of thing. I see them going off with Gal Gadot and Chris Pine doing a romantic movie together. I don't see why not, because there's been ways where, if you guys remember, I forget the name of the movie, but you had, in Marvel terms, you had Chris Evans, Anthony Mackie playing in a romance comedy, and they kind of worked together from that, and also a superhero movie. So I see them going far with that, with them two, or Gal Gadot expanding her role, other than just Wonder Woman, expand her role to do more exclusive content. I would love to see that for sure. So again, Wonder Woman 84, go check it out. I give it a thumbs up. Movies I give thumbs up or a thumbs down, but this movie, I have to give it a thumbs up because I legitimately enjoyed it. There's been moments in this movie where I'm looking at scenes and I'm literally cussing. I'm saying, oh shit. Like, oh shit, she's doing like, whoa, like it interests me. So that's why I have to say this movie is a thumbs up because there's been some oh shit moments. So we're gonna play some more music, but when we get back, we're going to continue talking about subscriptions, but next, I'm talking about the game of the year, the whole subscription thing of the year, Xbox Game Pass, coming up next, K.L.P Talk Live. Enjoy the music, we'll be right back.
Get strong.